Hello, I'm Michael Mason DeCroze from Running Shoe Guru, and today I'm here to talk to you about the New Balance 1080 version 11. This new shoe from New Balance is an update from the version 10. Still using the same sole unit as the version 10 had, which uses their Fresh Foam X foam, which is got plenty of cushion and does a ton of energy return. When I first put this on the foot, I was a little caught off guard by just how firm it was, where I was expecting a little bit more of a plush cushion like I had when I ran in the version 9 of this shoe. But the update to the Fresh Foam X makes it a slightly firmer sole unit than it was before. With that being said, once I got about 10 to 15 miles into it, it did loosen up a little bit, and it had plenty of cushion for any of the runs that I wanted to do in it. To the point where I actually ran a half marathon race in these with no issues whatsoever on my feet when it came to the sole unit and the type of cushion that I was feeling as I was using it. As I was saying, the sole unit itself is using that Fresh Foam X. It's got a ton of energy return to the point where you will feel it as you're toeing off. Just that firmness, the rounding off here of the curvature of the forefoot is going to just propel you forward and push you to want to go a little bit faster. The sole unit is the best part of the shoe. If you look at it, they didn't touch it from the last version 10, and there's a reason for that. It's because this sole is the way it should be. With the type of energy return and the type of cushion that you get, you're going to be able to log any of the miles that you want to do. And although I didn't take it past 13 during my testing, I would happily run in these for 15, 20 miles and have no issues with them. Continuing on the sole unit, if you look at the outsole right here, they use a good amount of rubber. It results in a shoe that has plenty of traction for any of the conditions that you might run in. I took them out on snow and ice, had no issues with any kind of slippage. I thought they did a very, very good job when it came to that. When looking at the upper, this is where it's been updated quite a bit. The upper this time around, they decided to come with a sock liner upper and one piece where for the most part up in the front, where you're going to have no real linings or anything for support, and especially here in the toe box, it's just going to be very flexible and let your foot move. However, at the same time, that is one of the things that I saw as a little bit of a drawback to the shoe. Is if you look at it right here, the toe box itself is really quite narrow. I had an issue that my foot is not a narrow foot. It's not to the point where I need a wide on any of my shoes, but it is a little bit wider than would be necessarily a narrow or normal. And so it was so narrow in the toe box that my toes were kind of slipping off the side. And there's this soft plastic up here on the toe that's there to try and keep you in if you're in the same case as me, but it did not work very well, to the point where I felt my toes slipping off the edge just a little bit, especially when I was trying to do a little bit of lateral movement if I had to turn a corner or something of that sort. And because of just how stretchy this upper material is, I just felt myself kind of wish-washing from time to time. Once I actually figured out how the shoe wore with that, it was less of an issue. I would change the way that I landed on my turns just a little bit so that it wouldn't become an issue. When you came into here to the midfoot, it's really pretty good about locking you down. It's got a good feel to it. The lacing system is really well made. I think the ends here are structured so that they'll help you lock down just a little bit. But it's one of the places where I've got the biggest complaint that I've got for the entire shoe, and that would be the laces. I know it's a small thing, but their laces are the slipperiest laces I've ever had on a shoe, to the point where it's the first shoe that I've ever tested that I had a double knot come undone during a run. And so that was a little bit weird, but it's an easy fix. I can just put my own shoelaces on it, and it's not a big deal. And that leads us into one of my favorite parts of the upper, and that would be this heel collar. The heel area has a nice structured heel right here to lock you in and lock the back part of the foot in, and then moves up into this collar that tapers away from the Achilles. As somebody who suffered from Achilles tendonitis, this right here is one of my favorite parts. Had no pressure on my Achilles no matter how far I went. I felt good, I felt comfortable the entire time, and felt locked in the entire time that I was using it. The New Balance 1080 version 11 is selling for $150, which means that it is on the high end of most everyday trainers. But it's going to be comparable to your Brooks Glycerins. It's going to be comparable to your Saucony Triumphs or any of those shoes that are being offered at that same price point. Anymore, if you want a full cushion shoe, you're going to probably have to spend about $140, $150. And this is no different. At the same time, the amount of return you get from this shoe makes it well worth the price point that they put it at. It's got plenty of cushion for any run that you want to go on, but it's also got that firmness and that energy return up on the forefoot so that you can dial up the speed and feel comfortable while doing so. So that is the 1080 version 11. The review for it is already up on runningshoeguru.com. Go check it out, and I hope you enjoyed the video.